Hi, hello, and welcome to the Energy of the Week. My name is Winona. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? And how was last week? So, this next week coming up on Monday, August 11th, Mercury finally goes direct. And then on August 12th, Venus conjoins with Jupiter in Cancer. So, to all my fellow Cancers, this is like a great it's a great time. It's a great time for everybody because Jupiter is exalted, and I believe Venus also enjoys being in Cancer as well. So it's just like good vibes, good feelings for everyone around, I believe, gifts for all. So I believe this will be a pretty cozy week. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So let's get into this reading for August 11th to August 17th, 2025. So let's talk about the overall focus, the overall theme that encapsulates this week. What is the overall focus of this week? So on the bottom of the deck, we have courage. Courage. So move past fear, right mindset, taking steps, standing out, helping others credit. And the overall is options. Weighing pros and cons. This is bringing to mind the energy of Libra, the energy of Venus. Job change move offers justice, law, mediator, balance. And so this week, our thought process is on balance, and it kind of just seems like it's like progressing, like from theme to theme for the past 2 weeks has felt very much a long-term vision for these overall focuses, the overall themes. And I really feel like we are all kind of deliberating, trying to see like the future, trying to trying to be a better judge of what is going to happen and how are we going to prepare. How are we going to prepare for the future? And with courage on the bottom of the deck, it does feel like at some point you have to take a risk. You have to take a risk even though it's uncomfortable in order to achieve the balance or the security that you are searching for. That there is no actual safety in staying where you are. And actually, there's always risk in everything. And sometimes staying where you are and staying stagnant and not changing is the greatest risk of all. So, weighing pros and cons. Spirit is really saying to go for it. Whatever is on your heart, is on your mind. Intuitively, if you're watching this, I really feel like you know what the right decision is. And there just might be a surface level of fear that is preventing you from moving forward when you already know the answer. It's all inside of you. And so, yeah, weighing the pros and cons, though, being strategic about our moves and not trying not to make a mistake. But that's the thing about mistakes is that sometimes you have to take that risk, make a mistake, make a fool of yourself in order to get to where you're trying to go. Because even with that, right, like there may be something that we need to learn. There may be somebody that we need to meet. There may be something that has to happen before we get to ultimately where we're trying to or desire to get to. All right, so let's get in deeper. What else, Spirit? This week, August 7th to August 17th, 2025. Ooh. Wow. Okay. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles, right? So going after something solid, Ten of Cups kind of peeking out behind it. Yeah, no, what I'm seeing here with all the cards in front of me is making a change. However big or small that may be, this may be taking a small step to go to the gym and or go to make a doctor's appointment in order to see where your health is at. This may be starting up on your resume, editing your resume and applying to a job. At least putting up that first sign of effort, that first action, that to get you where you want to go. And yeah, so we have two knights. We have the Knight of Pentacles and we have the Knight of Cups. Very slow moving. But knights are in search of something. They're in search of the adventure. They are moving forward, and also knights are courageous. They're courageous in their action, and here we are striving for something that is substantial and meaningful to us. Not something like the Knight of Swords or the Knight of Wands are, where they're trying to rush towards something without really looking. This is really searching for something deep and meaningful to us. And we have the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Wands being here. And so this is something that we feel passionate about. This is something that sparks energy in us, something that's worth it to us to put energy into. And after that, we have the Emperor. And so building something. And so some of us during this week are stepping into the Emperor energy, stepping into or going into the driver's seat, sitting in the driver's seat instead of being in the passenger seat, just going along for the ride, being an autopilot. And so taking charge on building something, stepping into that authority, stepping into our personal power, our personal authority. And after that, we have the Lovers choice card, the choice, right? This is Gemini energy. This is thinking outside the box. This is having the idea that is aligned for us and creating something from it. And Emperor is Aries energy. So here we have both these cards came out together. The Page of Wands and the Fool. The Page of Wands and the Fool, which the Page of Wands is grounding in that passion into the ground, into reality, into physical form. So what is it that it's in your heart that you want to bring into physical form and create, and taking that leap, right? The fool who is about to step off the cliff, instead of looking at things with fear, having the courage to be open, having the courage to take that leap of faith, knowing that it's going to lead us to somewhere that we're meant to be, lead us away from safety, but leading us into possibility, leading us into opportunity, into what if something amazing happens, instead of focusing on what are the dangers of this choice, what are the dangers, like what if this feels uncomfortable, this makes me feel insecure, I'm new at something. This is more like, oh, like what if I am good at this? Maybe I've never done it before, but what if this taps into something in me that has always been there? And there's just like this energy this week of stepping to your power, taking an action, doing something innovative, doing something you've never done before. No matter how small, it doesn't have to be huge, it could be huge for you though, right? It doesn't have to be huge. What I'm getting is like you don't have to look at it from the perspective of like, what does the outer world think? What will my family think? What will others think? Whoever, right? Your peers. But what is a big step for me? What will take me into more of, I get to choose. I get to decide I know what is aligned for me, and I get to make the decision. I get to call the shots. And just allowing ourselves to be open to that, open to the realm of infinity. Okay, so we are going to get our advice cards. What is it that we need to hear from Spirit for advice? And this is a chakra. So, like, what chakras do we need to pay attention to this week to help aid us, to help support us in this journey? So our first one is grounding. Grounding, that is root chakra. That makes so much sense. I feel like all of us are pretty shaken to the root right now. Sink your roots deep, connect them to the heart of the earth. Connect them to the heart of the earth. And what I'm hearing is like, connect your heart to the earth. This could be going out in nature this week. This could be walking outside, just taking in the sun first thing in the morning, just getting out of the house and being with nature. But grounding, right? We talked about grounding in this reading, grounding our ideas, connecting, not being so out there, not being so into our phones, into what's going on with someone else, not so focused on just giving ourselves a moment to take a step back from it all and just be in the present moment and be with ourselves and our body. How do you feel? How do you feel in your body? Have you asked yourself that? Do you even know what's going on? Have you asked yourself how you feel? And the bottom of the deck, we have compassion, the heart chakra. Resolve your conflicts with compassion. And what I'm really hearing is like patience, like being patient with yourself in this journey. You don't have to have all the answers. Yeah, I also hate the lost and confusion part of it. The part where you don't know what's going to happen if you make a decision, or if you take this action, or even just the feeling of you're floating through all of it. You're floating through all of it. Just be patient with that feeling. You're not alone in it. You're not alone in that feeling. And I'm going to pull one more. A lot of heart chakra, a lot of our hearts need to be paid attention to, because another one is love. Heart chakra, love. Love is a verb, so make it your most treasured action. Love. Love yourself, love others. Love this life that we're living in at the moment, even when it's hard. Decide and love. Be patient. Be patient with yourself, be patient with others in this moment. And on the bottom of the deck is shine. Shine. So you are made of stardust, so keep sparkling. One message that is kind of popping through is this feeling of insecurity or imposter syndrome. And that's what's popping out right now. So what Spirit wants to say is like, allow yourself to shine, and how it actually is a disservice. It is a disservice to the world. It is a disservice to others. It is a disservice to yourself to not allow yourself to shine, to not allow yourself to share gifts that you have been squirreling away and hiding, and how it's important, and understand to step into your authority and step into your power is not selfish, and how how we need that, and we need you to step into your self-confidence, we don't need you to shrink, we don't need you to hide, we need you to be here, we need you to connect. And there's someone out there, there's an audience, there's people out there, there's someone out there that needs you to step into your authenticity, that needs your warmth, that needs your connection, and needs you to share what you have inside of you, because we all need it. So that is the message. That is the energy of the week. I hope that this message supported you in some way. And thank you for sharing the sacred space and time with me. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, the Divine, as always. And I will see you next week. I hope you have a lovely week. Love you. Ciao.